Hey guys, what's up? So today's video is on this look that I have on right here. I am obsessed with this look. I used one of the new Makeup Forever pigments that I had got in my recent haul, and this one is my favorite. I am obsessed with this color because I love like soft pinky-ish sort of looks. I don't know, they're my favorite because they make my blue eyes pop. And also like, I mean, they work on really every other eye color, but another eye color that it makes them pop so much and they're so gorgeous is hazel eyes. Hazel eyes with a look like this, I don't know what it is, but they just bing, like they're in your face and they're stunning and they're beautiful. And yeah, so this is the look that I created today. I am absolutely obsessed with it. This is definitely a go-to sort of look for me. Of course, the only thing that was new to me was the of the eye look, at least. The only thing that was new to me was the pigment, but I've done a version of this look for years because I love how colors like this kind of look on the eyes. I think that they're very complimentary and soft and just feminine and beautiful, and I'm obsessed. So anyways, please be sure to like and subscribe before you leave, and if you would like to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Alright you guys, so we're going to start off with the eyes. So I do already have the eyes already primed with my P. Louise eye base, and then I have on Scotch tape right here to make a nice clean line. And then let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. It is pretty dirty. That's the one downside to this like soft packaging, is it gets pretty dirty. So I'm going to start off with the shade Dusty Rose, which is that one right here. And I'm going to use my Morphe M441. So I'm just going to start this in like the upper crease of the eye right up here. And then once I have that applied, I'm going to dust off the brush and then just go in and blend this out. So I'm using kind of circular motions to just buff and blend this out. Alright, then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So again, placing this in like the upper crease area with that Morphe M441. Alright, and then now that I have that all laid down, we're going to wipe off the excess and then just go through with circular motions to buff and blend this out. And then I use a little bit of windshield wiper motions too. But when I'm doing the windshield wiper motions, I have my hand really far down on the brush so that I'm using very, very light pressure, because we don't want to be too heavy-handed when you're blending with windshield wiper motions. Alright, so now I'm going to pick up the shade Mulberry, which is this one right here. And I'm going to take that on my Morphe M433. And I'm going to start this right out here on like the outer half of the eye. And then we're going to start working that into the crease as well. So just take it nice and slow, because this is a deep color that you don't want to accidentally apply too much too fast. So start taking it into the crease, but we're going to stop about right in here, about halfway. We're going to stop, and then I'm going to wipe off that brush, and we're now going to buff and blend this out. So again, I have my hand really low down on the brush, and then I'm going to use windshield wiper motions just to blend this out, because I want to make sure that this dark doesn't come up too high on the eye. We want to keep it pretty light as we get up towards the brow. So just keep your hand low on the brush and just lightly buff with windshield wiper motions to blend that out. and then I'll pick back up that M441 with no additional product and just lightly buff over. So doing the exact same thing, keeping that hand low on the brush, and then just using windshield wiper motions, just like that. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other eye. So taking that mulberry shade, and we're going to start right out here on the outer half. And then you really use that tape as a guide. So like, that tape is there so that you don't get things too messy, which is wonderful. I love using the tape method. It's very quick and easy, and it just helps so that you can get that nice cat eye sort of look without putting in too much effort to it in a way, you know? Which I love. Now sometimes I don't want it to be as harsh as the tape, so sometimes like that's when I'll do it without the tape and just kind of do it myself. But for this look, I do want kind of that sharp line. I want that drama factor of it. Alright, so just like that, and then again I'm going to pick back up that M441 with no additional product and just keeping my hand real low on the brush and just buffing over the edges. Alright, so now I'm going to pick up this brush right here. So I do not know the name of this brush. It doesn't have one on it. It's from Morphe. It was in whatever this gold and black set was. I'm not totally sure. It was gifted to me, so I don't know the exact name of it. But I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit of Noir, which is this black shade, but just a tiny, tiny bit. Like I'm literally just going to like, boop, and that is it. And we're going to do this right here from where the tape kind of connects to where the lashes grow out. So right here, and then kind of drag up a little bit and then drag down toward the lashes a little bit. Just like that. And then I'm going to kind of dust off the brush and then just use this brush to further buff and blend out. And then I'm going to pick back up that M433, which is what we used with the mulberry shade. And I'm just going to keep it flat and then just kind of use windshield wiper motions, but really short windshield wiper motions. Like you don't want to do too big sweeping motions or anything like that, just to further make sure that it's nice and blended. And then I'm going to pick back up that M441 and then again just kind of really lightly dust over the top, make sure everything is nice and blended out. Alright, we're going to do that exact same thing on the other side. So again, right up at where the tape and kind of the lashes meet, and then kind of lightly drag up the tape and then along the lashes, and then wipe off the excess and just kind of buff this out. And then picking up that M433, leaving it flat to the eye and dragging this along. Short windshield wiper motions to just blend this out, but we don't want to do anything too crazy. And then taking that M441 and just dusting over the top of everything, make sure everything is nice and blended. Alright, so then next I'm going to take the Makeup Forever Starlit Powder in the shade 15, and then I'm going to spritz my brush with the MAC Fix Plus. And then the brush I am using is the MAC 242, and we're going to put this on the inner half of the lid. So I'm picking it up on the brush first, and then I will spritz the brush. And then when you get to where the shimmer meets the matte, kind of take the brush and do just patting motions in between the two. So really short motions kind of going back and forth and just patting in between the matte and the shimmer. Just like that. It helps to make it look nice, very nice and seamless, but very easy to do. Alright, so then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And it helps if you do not have your brush too wet when doing this. So like if you did get the brush really wet for the pigment, then let the brush dry a little bit before you start doing this tapping part to blend from the shimmer to the matte, because if the brush is too wet, it's not going to do it quite the same. You want to make sure that the brush is just like ever so slightly damp. Like you really don't want it too wet at all. All right, just like that. So I'm gonna go apply lashes and I will be right back. All right, I am back, and the lashes that I applied are the Velour Custom Lashes in Flare Crisscross Wispy 15 millimeters are the lashes that I have on, but let's move on to the face. So I'm gonna use the Tarte, the Liquid Silk Canvas Primer today. For foundation, I'm going to use the Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation, and I'm going to apply that with my Real Techniques, I think it's the Miracle Complexion Sponge. Alright, next for concealer, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Now for powder, I'm going to use the RCMA No Color Powder. Alright, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer in the shade number 2 medium as my bronzer today. It looks like this with my Morphe JH05. Then I'm going to grab my Luxie 182 brush and just lightly kind of bronze up the sides of my nose. Alright. Now for blush, I'm going to be using the Becca blush in the shade Flower Child, and I'm going to use my Morphe JH04. now I'm going to set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Now I'm going to grab the Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Luminous Light from Hourglass with my Morphe JH09. Alright, so now I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. And we're going to finish off the lower lash line. Let me grab what I need real quick. Alright. So for starters, I'm going to take my Morphe E17 and I'm going to take the shade Dusty Rose, which is this one right here. And we're going to buff this all along the lower lash line. Alright, and then I'm going to grab my Morphe E36 with the shade Mulberry, which is that one right there. And I am just taking this on like the outer half of the lower lash line. Just like that. It's looking a little choppy right here on this eye, so I'm just going to take that E17 and just lightly buff that out. Alright, I'm going to go apply mascara to my lower lashes, and I'm going to apply my eyebrows off camera, and then I will be right back. Alright, so to just finish off the eyes, I'm going to take the Jaclyn Beaming Light Highlighter in the shade Extra, and I'm using my Morphe JH42. So we're just gonna lightly put this on the inner corners. I say lightly, and that's a really bold inner corner. That was more like what I was going for. So I'm gonna wipe this away a little bit with my finger. And then put just a little bit on the brow bone as well. Alright, so lastly is just lips. I am going to use the lip liner and lipstick combo from Kylie Cosmetics in the shade KoKo K. Alright, and then last but not least, I'm going to take the Pat McGrath lip gloss. I'm not sure like what the name of the lip glosses are, but this is the mini one that I had got from my haul, and this is in the shade Sunset Rose. Alright you guys, that is it for this finished makeup look. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again in my next one. Bye!